No, is this better? Don't know. So after the after my stupid underwater camera did, even to my standards, did such a lousy recording of the test of my online newsletter class for the live performance, I now carry the disappointment about myself since 3 days around, and now I decided after a day on the Dremel and carving to try mal a kind of a late afternoon lecture. Yeah, this is about the newspaper. It's a newspaper workshop, and the newspaper is here is the model. It is made normally in 2 A4 sheets. So in case at any point somebody wants to display them in a frame, this is possible without a kind of like out of the wall frame. So first question, what is the difference between a diary and a newspaper? Yes, it's the public address. It's this decision what you think is worth sharing, or what you think is important enough to inform somebody else, the public, about. It can release secrets, but it's not a kind of internal dialogue you have with the self, yeah, as in the diary. So I think this is a clear decision, and this is the aim, to convince the audience, to make sure that they understand that this is supposed to be a newspaper. And the first thing how to do that is to give your newspaper a name, a title. Think about it. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, the snail, the rhizotone. This is the one, the rhizotone. It's probably a mixture of French for nose and tone for toner. So that goes actually back where the toner came from, or where the Riecher, that's the German version in English translated to the sniffler, got its name from, because our, let's call him colleague, Daniel Schnur, I changed his name slightly, had a toner of his kind of like what he called a gallery, what was but 99% a one-person show. And we were kind of like creating our own kind of agitprop machine to battle his practice or his unlimited understanding of what art is. And so we started publishing in 1999 the Riecher together with Simon Frisch. So, but now to the practicality. So we have the title, yeah, what is it called today? The snail. You have your A4 paper. That's something 2, if you like. Fold them, A4. Then you could write just a snail, but you could also just paint a snail. And then we write the date. I think it's the 26th of September in 2022. So what are the categories that appear in a newspaper, or what instrumental elements that can an audience convince that they're actually reading a newspaper. Headline. What's the headline of the day? It just rains. The rain of the last 4 months that didn't rain. Yeah, underline it. If you have this kind of a big thing, then you have even different colors. Otherwise, you could use a paintbrush, a spray can, whatever you think. And this is at the A4 is just the kind of the easiest way. So what else? Oh yeah, and now it's screaming time. Yeah, I think probably I don't know, it's called Stefano, that 3-year-old. It just probably got the result of the Italian balls. Oh yeah, that's something. 45% for they call the right, or they call them even neo-fascists. As I'm a little bit careful, but it's the right and the right, yeah. Yeah, I don't really, I'm really not okay with that anymore. A little bit of respect to your neighborhood, even as a 3-year-old, can be expected. Oh, that could be an advice column. Even 3-year-olds can be taught to respect another existence. That's a bit another existence, well-being or comfort. So that's what we have. Yeah, that is of course something nice for a group. Paint a portrait of the person next to you. So I don't have a person next to you, so I will make another self-portrait of myself and write self-portrait underneath. Very good. Oh, oh, I have 2 eyes. Huh? So that we have important data, important information. Oh yeah, the Prix d'Arc de Triomphe, definitely the biggest French or European race in Gallop, is now on Sunday, and that is then, I think, if we get to the calendar, August, what is this again today? So September is the 1st. So the race is on the 2nd October. Take also the inner side because we want to fill this newspaper. And then I make it clear, I make also the Arc de Triomphe, also we are in Paris, and then Prix de das ist Apostroph Arc de Triomphe. Und das ist dann Dimanche, when, yeah, probably from the gates open at 1 and then it goes to 7. Yeah, you can also go already the day before. There is then also something, but it is not so cheap. Like, so that's what you decide. So that's the day. Did I write 2nd? I did not write 2nd October. 2nd October 2020. That was my information, my important date that I have. Advertisement, last product. Oh, that's of course, I mentioned that already. The last advertisement for the Dremel. That's a kind of a little hand drill. I think it's actually US American. And I got it as a present, and maybe I was a tiny bit skeptic, but I do recommend the Dremel. I do Dremel and I do recommend it. That's how it looks, the Dremel. That you can change then the tools. So the advertisement, then partner search, searching for, I would say, what is it? Search. You can of course search for your cat that you lost, but I'm searching for elderly elegant gentleman or lady, that's a gentleman, for conversations and exchange. No, yeah, that seems a bit exchange, okay, but you know what I get, yeah. I don't know what you're looking for. Horoscope, it's get a bit difficult. Weather, I will have the headline already. A dream you had. I can tell you a dream somebody else had, who told me that they dreamed about me, but they didn't actually dream about me, but they knew, and that's a reflective dream that proves some kind of intelligence. They realized in the dream, even that I wasn't the person as visible, that it was actually me who doing kind of a circular walk around a city. Yeah. So you maybe need to pause now to remember the dream that you want to write down. Yeah. Pause. And when you've done it, then click it on. So welcome back. I think we have that. Oh, that I think is a nice exercise. And this was now for incoming members of the program that I created this workshop. I suggested them to write first, you draw a postcard, no? Just the line for the address and then the stamp. You write your name on and your address, blah, 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 blah. And now you write down that you want to remind yourself in 3 weeks or in 3 months. Yeah, let's say you send it in January and you want, that's what you want you to remind yourself of, maybe what the situation was just right now. I was maybe just nervous, or I was really exciting about coming to a new place. That depends. It can be, oh, I got new glasses. I finally can see something again. Yeah. I think maybe you could make that. I think it's nice because we get lost of things, and to have a kind of a little bit of a internal reminder might be a nice opportunity for yourself. Yeah. Okay. Take your time. All right. So then that's what that was also something for the new students. I talked about the AMFAP. That's some of you people know that that's the A manual for a practice. Yeah. And the manual for practice is a manual for a practice is actually an index of 300 terms that are relevant, that I find relevant and helpful to understand in relationship to a practice. Necessarily not my practice, so you try to want to lift it out of the kind of like the self and think it in a more general term. So example, first, consequences. Yeah, well, consequences are, of course, if you spend all your money on paint and then you're hungry because you yeah, so that's a kind of a clear consequence. So consequence has something to do with that you make decisions about what do you want to invest and what can you invest and what are the possibilities regarding your practice. But that has also consequences to your life, yeah, to your social life. Yeah? So if you want to be a successful artist, or you want to have some recognition, you probably need to talk to somebody at some point and talk about your practice. Yeah, and if you just want to have a practice that's kind of insular, you probably don't have to talk to anybody, but you still need to deal with a kind of like the ecology of your island. So I think that the interesting thing about thinking about the term of consequences, because there's always this kind of like illusion and dream, you can do everything. You can do everything, or you can try to do everything, but there is something will come out of that. It will has a consequence. It will might limit the possibilities. Yeah, I think that's in creativity interesting, particularly if you do a project, an exhibition. If you want to keep everything open, and you cannot make decisions. So I think, but with every decision, you limit the possibilities. But that's actually also the step forward on a kind of creative process. And to live with that, I think, is an important point. And so to see the consequence as a kind of opportunity to form them through whatever you do, I think is a nice perspective on that term. Yeah, so that was an example. Just choose a term that is you're close to, you have an understanding, and formulate that and put that here in the section that we call AMFAP, a manual for a practice. So I tried to speak a bit fast because I was worried it's getting too long. The original version was already 10 minutes. I think we are at the end. And now I see that whole lecture is called Catching 3 Flies with 1 Bash. It's about introducing myself and my practice. It's exercising the practice. And the third is, of course, making you learn how the format newspaper works, but also how any kind of cultural format works and how it can be used to embed a artwork within it. Yeah. So thank you very much, and I will see you very soon.